Welcome to another episode. We're doing Lexus things today. I have not touched this car since Vibes. I mean, I've touched it, but I've done nothing with it. So we had a bit of a run around. Quick backstory, we put the AccuSump and oil cooler in it before we went to Vibes, but we used cheap Amazon fittings because that's all we could get our hands on. Like in time, all of them leak. Every single one of them. So we've already replaced two. We did that basically on the way to the track, but we couldn't get all the others replaced. And then after a run around ordering new ones, went ahead and got all vibrant stuff. I ordered the wrong ones, so I had to send them back, wait for the new ones to come, the right ones, hopefully the right ones. So I think we got everything now. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. This is gonna come off. These are gonna come off. Gives us all the access in here, and I'm gonna brake clean the hell out of this thing because there's oil everywhere, and hopefully get this mess fixed up and use this thing some. Remember to release the pressure from your AccuSump before you try to take the lines off. Otherwise it's going to be a pretty big mess when I crack them lines open and there's pressure inside of here. Not so much the lines, actually. We actually had this all apart at the track and we didn't have Teflon to put back in here, so this, you can see, it's been leaking here too. Basically everything leaked. And the setup wasn't great. We didn't have the fittings that we actually wanted to be able to do this. So it's not the best looking setup, so we're gonna fix some of that as well. Dress this all up nice and hopefully no more leaks. Fingers crossed, that's the goal. Okay, she's completely apart. This is not staying in here, this has to come out too. But it's apart. The thread's clean so we can re-Teflon these. So we didn't have any at the track when we pulled this apart. So this was leaking too here, and I think on this side too. So I'm just gonna re-Teflon both, get that back together, and then start putting the lines back in. It's gonna be all different. Should look way cleaner and should work way better, and most importantly, hopefully it doesn't leak. It is getting freaking hot out here, and I'm in the sun now. Anywho, got fittings in place, everything's on. This guy down here, just gonna give it another wipe down, screw it all together, brake clean the hell out of everything in here, and I think it should be good. Alright, that is everything done. Now, disclaimer, this is the first AN lines I've ever done, ever. So, it is not the most beautiful thing. Like, there's definitely room for improvement there, but it's in, it's tight, shouldn't leak. Again, shouldn't leak. I am, I don't know if you can see that, but I need a shower. I'm sweating to death out here. So, when the bumper's on, you can see the gauge from this spot here. The bumper only comes to here, so you get this nice sight of the gauge for the AccuSump, and also access to the release if needed, which hopefully that's never needed. But yeah, it's all done. So, on to the next part. And then I realized I don't have any oil here to put in this car. So, I don't think it lost much. There's not a lot in the pan. I emptied the AccuSump before I took it out, and then held the lines up to hopefully gravity feed back into the oil pan. And the car is facing up a hill, so that should have helped that. So I'm going to start it, let it build pressure into the AccuSump, and then check and see just how low it is. I know I'm going to have to add more, but I don't think it's going to be too low. So at least so we can start and check things. And my screen holder I made here has succumbed to the heat even worse, but I have another one I've already made that I have to put in, so that'll be getting fixed soon. So in the meantime, oh my god, the steering wheel's hot. check it. I haven't started this car in days, and it just starts that easy. It's so good. Alright, I think it's settled out there about 48 pounds. So we're going to shut her off and check her. Well, it's better than I thought. We must have overfilled it pretty good the last time when we were at the track because it was leaking. So I'm still holding 50 pounds and the level's just barely below full. So we'll start it back up. We'll let her get up to temp and just check for leaks. Cleaned up everything on the car as good as I could. Caught most of the oil that came out of the lines in a pan, but I mean there's a couple spots on the driveway, so I swabbed them up real quick too. So hopefully we'll know if it's already there or if it's coming out of the car. We'll see how it goes. Idling at 40 psi. Coolant temp is climbing. So now we wait. Have a seat right here and just let her warm up, wait till the fans kick on, and just keep watching. Okay, that cooler must be doing something because it took a long time to get up to where the first fan kicks on, and everything is looking good. I'm not gonna want to focus down in there. Everything is dark. Yeah, everything's looking good. No leaks so far. The only thing I've seen, we have a little bit of residual oil in here that I've been trying to get as it leaks out, as it warms up. But otherwise, knock on wood, I think we're okay. It's looking good for the moment. I guess throw the bumper on, put the license plates back on it, and we can take this thing for a ride. So it's high 80s out here right now. Direct sunlight. I'm sweating to death. It took this car a long time to get to where the first fan kicks on. Now, the first fan kicks on at 185 degrees, shuts off at 180. The second fan kicks on at 190, shuts off at 185. So, first fan came on, brought it right back down to 180 and shut itself off. So, sitting here idling, the second fan ain't coming on. It's just not going to do it. So, let it settle for a second, and I'm going to check the oil again. But, I think I'm good. I'm going to throw the headlights and license plate and front bumper back on it, and it'll be time to take this thing for a ride. Finally, it's been sitting here for weeks and I haven't driven it, and it's been driving me nuts. Here's a quick look at why I was leaving the headlight out. You get this window to see the gauge with it in there. And funny, that's dry rotting already, and these are brand new lights. Like it just bought these this spring. Ah, great. Anyway, still see the gauge, it's holding pressure. She's going back together. Alright, back together. Bumpers on, lights are in, plates are on. We got our co-pilot. So you know we gotta take her along when we go for a test ride. So, go ahead and get your seatbelt on. Alright, so the drive went well-ish. So if you look, there's still a good bit of oil coming down this. Now the fittings at the top, dry, nothing there. They were leaking though, so I'm wondering if it's not just there was so much oil in the fins of the cooler and it's still coming out. So I'm gonna just hit the whole face of this thing with brake clean and see. Well, I guess we'll have to try it again. My mount is looking so sad. It's all leaning and junk. I gotta get that changed. Parameters are looking good though. Guess I should hold the phone like this. All crooked like that is. Not bad. Okay, so oil leak. Pretty confident we got that fixed. Did another lap around. It was okay. So I think we're good there. So we move to the inside of the car. Got some work to do in here too. We have put the party lights back on the inside. I printed another one of these. You see this one's got a lot of flex, and it's actually with the heat sitting out here, this should be flush here, and it's sunk in pretty far. So I've got another one I've printed where I put some support on the back of it to hopefully keep that from happening again. So I'm gonna put that in, start getting switches wired up. This one will be AccuSump, and get the lights done. The fan one is gonna wait for now, and I do have a tire sprayer to put in, and then a couple USB ports. So I start working on this. I have another mount for Tilty over there. Get that put in, and also finally have a CAN splitter so I can hook the laptop to the Holley. If you don't know, the Holley Terminator setups only come with one CAN output, and the screen uses it. So if you want to use your laptop, you have to unplug the screen. You can only have one at a time. You have to get a splitter. So we have that, so we can put that in and finally look at this thing with a laptop. Okay, first little project sort of accomplished. So we have an ECU connection. Now, I haven't messed with any of this yet, and I probably won't because the learning in the ECU does such a good job. So there is some stuff I want to, be able to look at logs and that kind of thing at the track is the main goal for this. So if we have to change anything, we can. You got the cable there. It's running under there right now, so I'm gonna loop that up behind the glove box so I can hide it in there so it's out of the way when we don't need it. So that'll be the next thing, is pulling the glove box out, which is actually pretty easy in these cars. Just a couple bolts underneath, a couple here in the corners, and then it just slides right out. There, cable tucked away. There's like an access panel back here in these glove boxes that you can just pop out. It's the same way I ran the cable for the Mega Squirt. Hold on to that because we had belt issues with this car. It ended up being a bad tensioner. But that's the belt number for this car. The only other thing I really keep in there is a pair of glasses that I only use when we're at the track, and my gloves. This pair of gloves does not get used to work on the car. That pair of gloves is to drive the car. So that stays in there. Stays nice and clean for when we need it. So now I'm going to move on to getting this out, getting the switches moved over to it, and we can start running some wire to get some of these switches going. Can actually see the frickin' bend in this thing. Yeah, so that wasn't gonna work, which that's fine. That one was meant to be a test anyway, just to make sure everything was gonna fit. So now we have this. So this should hold up way better, hopefully. So we get this put in there, get the switches mounted in. I pulled my logo off there. This is actually glow in the dark. I'll be keeping that. Switches going in. Start running some wires and get some of this stuff actually working. Okay, I'm getting pretty close to done for today. This freaking sun is killing. I need to get stuff out of the garage so I can get this thing in the shade. But we got a wire mess here. The lights work. I have to wait till it's dark to obviously get a clip of that. I'm about to test the USB ports. See if we can charge a phone. Actually wonder if I can screen record while... I think I can screen record so I actually see the battery percentage. Alright, so it's 79% currently. I'm gonna flip the camera around here. Alright, so we're gonna plug this in. So that's plugged in. Boom, charging. Awesome. That's cool. We can do both of those at the same time. Hopefully that comes out alright. This is not hooked up yet. I need to weld a bung into the exhaust. I don't really need it because the Holley does the same job. Like it gives this reading, but I like it. It's cool. It's kind of a novelty thing at this point. But it also, we can put this on the other bank. Like the Holley's only reading the left bank of the engine. So we can put this on the right side, just below the header. And we'll have a reading off both sides. So if something starts going weird, it'll give us an idea of which side it's on. So that'll be good. This isn't installed yet. This is running the AccuSump. So when you power this on, it opens the valve on the AccuSump and pre-oils the engine. So I'm also going to look into hooking the AccuSump to the Holley. So if it drops oil pressure, it will also open that valve, which is the intended purpose for it. For right now, we're just going to run with it open. So if the oil pressure drops, it just automatically does it. But I want to get it wired to the Holley for standby. The fans are not connected yet. They are running through the Holley. I am going to connect this so we can have the fans on when the car is off. So that'll be good there. Party lights are operational. So move down, flip this on. Blue lights. So that is working. So I'm going to get this put back in, get the column put back together with the new mount for the screen, clean up the mess we got in here. It is a mess. And go inside where there's air conditioning. Alright, so I lied, I threw one more thing in. We got the interior underlights put in too. So one under each side in the dash and one under each front seat in the back. Now I'm just getting the screen put in. So getting this plate put on, you can see this one kind of warped under the heat too. So made this one hopefully a little more robust. Hopefully this one will hold up a little bit better. So the center console is all back together. Just need to put, sorry for the hand, put this guy in 3 bolts instead of 2, so hopefully it can't, basically the old one fell forward like that. So we'll get the 3rd bolt in there, put this back together and go inside. I am about done with this heat for today. Okay, job done. Screen is in, mounted, console's back together. Just gotta drop the cup holder in there. Looks good. All 3 bolts. Actually took these out and replaced them with nylock nuts. So hopefully they don't vibrate loose again. So I actually had 2 nuts on each one of those. I'm still having issues with them, so that's done. So I think I'm gonna call it there. So hot. I'm gonna get this cleaned up. Let's see how bad that had warped in the sun sitting here. So hopefully we don't have that issue again. It gets so hot in this car though that I don't know that that's gonna be the truth. But I'm gonna be done there. Clean everything up. It's all functional. It's ready to go. And that's gonna be it for this one. The next one, I have some jet ski stuff going on. And not this weekend, but next weekend we will be at Erie for round 3 of the Great Lakes Pro-Am, doing some judging. We're going to take the car, get a jam session in after the comp since it's not a full event. So there should be some good testing to make sure we're good to go on all the oil and everything else we've done. And then cranking towards Fall Mats Erie. So thanks for watching. Hope to see you there. Alright, one last thing to end this video off. So that one LED is wired to constant power, so it's always on. We keep the battery unhooked on this most of the time anyways, so you turn the key on, all the switches light up, power them on, boom, party lights. Looks good with the belts, make the belts glow, so that's a plus. Yeah, say that works out pretty well. I'm pretty happy with that.